Chief Vijay is expected to meet the victim's kin. Now we have some breaking updates coming in on the very story. Now the DMK party has hit out at Vijay, meeting kin of the Karur victims in the outskirts of Chennai. Remember, Vijay is responsible for the death of at least 40 people, and now Vijay is inviting the kin of the deceased around the outskirts of Chennai so that he can meet them at a private convention center. Now the DMK is hitting out at Vijay, slamming the very decision of meeting victims, Karur victims' kin, and the DMK is saying, and I quote, "No politician has ever done something like this. This shows he lacks compassion and empathy." Imagine what will happen if someone like this comes to power. Listen into that very reaction. DMK slamming TVK chief for his decision to meet Karur victims' kin.
If 41 people lost their lives in Karur Stampede, who is responsible? It is the poor planning and carelessness of actor Vijay and his party TVK that which is responsible. That no other politician has ever done in Indian history. That is to invite the kin of those who lost their loved ones to Chennai, 400 kilometers from where the incident happened. This shows his lack of compassion and empathy.
And viewers, I'm being joined by my colleague Dharini on the broadcast here. Dharini, DMK hitting out at Vijay, basically slamming the very decision of him meeting the Karur victims' kin. We are learning that he has called the victims' kin to the outskirts of Chennai, and he's meeting after almost 1 month since the Karur Stampede, which claimed at least 40 innocent lives.
Well, top sources in TVK tell us that Vijay is expected to meet the kin of the Karur victims on October 27 in the outskirts of Chennai. So for the past 2 weeks, TVK has been trying to find an appropriate venue in Karur itself for this meeting between Vijay and the families. But unfortunately, TVK faced a lot of difficulties in finding the right venue. That is why now they've taken a decision to bring the families of the Karur victims to Chennai, and they'll be here in Chennai on October 27 in the outskirts of Chennai. That is where at a private convention center Vijay will be meeting these families. Of course, on TVK side, the sources tell that they in fact intended to meet the families in Karur itself, but because the situation was not suitable and they couldn't find appropriate venues, that is why they had to bring them to Chennai. That is the justification coming in from sources in TVK. But meanwhile, of course, we saw the DMK spokesperson here hitting out at TVK Chief Vijay for this plan. He says that no political leader ever in the history of Tamil Nadu has made the kin of tragedy deceased travel all the way to Chennai and to his place and make them meet there. This is something that is unprecedented, and Vijay lacks compassion and empathy is what the DMK says. Right. And they also pose a bigger question. They say that Vijay has no compassion and empathy, and imagine what will happen to Tamil Nadu when such a person with no compassion and empathy comes to power. This is the question that is being posed by the DMK. Let's wait and see how the DMK is responding to this very serious allegation.
Right, Dharini, it is a significant shift to Vijay's long delayed outreach efforts, I would say, but should we call it a last minute effort from the side of TVK Chief Vijay, because it's almost 1 month since the Karur Stampede? He did apologize in a video message. He did consider the stampede which happened and claim 40 lives. But after a month, he is now wanting to meet the victims' kin, and he's also calling them to Chennai. What do we call it? It's a genuine sympathy, or it's just an outreach?
Well, we've been tracking this news very closely since the stampede broke out on September 27. And one thing that we can very clearly and confidently say is that TVK was in fact taking efforts, to make Vijay meet with the victims, the kith and kin of the Karur victims. For the past 2 weeks, I spoke to multiple sources across different parts of TVK, and all of them confirmed to me that they are trying to find an appropriate venue in Karur itself. But unfortunately, they are facing a lot of difficulties in Karur in finding finding the venue, and that is why now in the last minute, in the 11th hour, TVK has made this decision to bring the kith and kin of the deceased to Chennai itself, because remember, it's been a month since Vijay went on a political rally. The last time he went on a political rally in Karur, that is when the stampede happened, and because of the stampede, all the political events of Mr. Vijay, the campaign events of Mr. Vijay, they've been put on hold, and for the past 1 month he's not been coming out much. There is no public presence of Mr. Vijay. So TVK wants to initiate, reinitiate their campaigns as soon as possible, political campaigns in view of the elections, and for that reason, they want this meet between Vijay and the kin of the victims to happen as soon as possible. That is why, in light of not able to find an appropriate venue in Karur, they've decided in the 11th hour to bring the kin of the deceased to Chennai itself and to make them meet Vijay.
Right. Thank you so much, Dharini, for joining us live with all those details.